Cars are built like the government. They run on thoughts and prayers. From engineered failures to overpriced garbage. Let's take a look and see what's going on.
People don't realize that new cars have way more problems than old cars do. And what we've seen is, my personal experience is, I have a car that I've had for almost 2 years now. Brand new 2022 Yukon Denali. Engine failed, it's been in the shop, and guess what? The engine's been on back order for well over 45 days.
2 years and the engine has already failed. That just tells you how the modern world is.
Now. So clearly it's a known problem. My point is that you cannot guess or determine that just because something is new, that it's not going to have recalls, failures, or challenges throughout the process of you owning it. My best recommendation is to be able to subsidize these fixes moving forward by protecting yourself and building it into your budget up front, that you're going to have a cost of ownership involved with fixes and repairs across the board. So,
oh yeah, no, new cars are just pumped out as fast as possible and as cheap as possible. You'd notice, more plastic, more sensors, more garbage in there, and they're even harder to repair.
Just because it's new doesn't mean it's going to be more trustworthy or reliable.
Yeah, no, modern cars are not that trustworthy, and they are not reliable at all. And most of the time, that warranty ends right before a major breakdown.
Why does every modern car look so ugly? And this isn't just me hating on the Cybertruck. I feel like every car I see on the road looks like one of these. They're all kind of pudgy, they're boring, they're round, and they're all painted a very dull, boring color. I think part of the reason is so many people drive these hybrid SUVs, and there's pretty much no way to make those look good. It looks like a flatbed had an affair with a hatchback. And maybe I'm romanticizing things, but I feel like cars from the past used to look so much cooler.
Yeah, no, they all look like Humpty Dumpty for some reason. And they look dull and pale like that is because they use prime colors or primer colors. They're basically trying to save money on not coloring the vehicles.
And not anything from the past 20 years. I'm talking like cars that looked like this. In the 1950s, it seemed like we actually cared about the design of the things that we used every day. A car that looks like this feels more elegant to me. It has class, it has personality. And where did this all go? It's like we're caught up trying to make cars look futuristic, but in reality, everything just looks ugly. And I'm not saying all modern cars look bad. There are some of them today that still look pretty cool. But the cars that do look cool and prioritize their design, they're often way more expensive and out of reach for your average middle-class consumer. But these ones weren't. These were kind of your everyday classic cars that you'd see on the road. At least
yeah, the 1920s, the 30s, the 40s, that's where it was at, honestly, with the style. But as safety features develop and evolve more, we just kind of get this, soap bar on wheels looking dumpster, Humpty Dumpty looking thing. I hate SUVs so much. It's insane. They look like garbage.
I think so. I wasn't there. But it feels like in the modern day, car companies have not prioritized the design of their cars, and it really shows.
Somebody in the comments said, it's much harder to design a car that will get regulatory approval now. They are very stringent about the design. This makes it very difficult for companies to design cool cars. And yeah, I do agree. I mean, look at the UK. The cars can't even have any sharp edges at all. So you're basically driving around in a soap bar on wheels.
It's funny to me, as cars get newer and the technology gets newer, I think they're actually going to get worse. This Mach-E does not have a door handle.
They absolutely have been getting worse.
This is a door handle, right? You pull in it, the door opens. This has a push button. Door opens. I have one problem with that. It snowed a little bit last night. Probably 1 or 2 inches. So my avalanche is here outside, right? So the Mach-E would have a push button somewhere around here. You're going to have to find the push button, right? Instead of just pulling the door open, right?
Yeah, and imagine if the battery died.
Well, the push button would be somewhere around there. I guess if you own an EV, you should just park it in a garage. If you don't have a garage, don't own an EV. Because this is a push. That latch has to disengage. So what happens when it's iced over? You're not going to be able to just pull the door.
You're just going to get locked out of your car. And not to mention, those EVs, they don't perform that well in the cold weather. As you've seen what happened in Chicago a couple of years ago. It was just all piled up next to a charging station.
Open, right? It's not going to be a simple process like that. This is a grab handle, so this is only going to work after the door has unlatched. If that mechanism gets frozen in there, you can't tug it open. There's no mechanical release to open that hint. Like, this is not going to get mechanically released from the outside like this is, right? You pull this unlatch button, this button is undoing that latch in there. Just wild to me.
Yeah, and on the other Jeep, if it ices over, you can just de-ice it with a liquid or something, but with this you can't do that because it's all electronics inside.
Why do American cars suck so bad? They're overpriced, they're unreliable.
And they rust out.
American cars. They're overpriced. They're unreliable. So what's really going on? How are we charging more every year for cars that aren't lasting as long as they used to? Why are people more inclined to buy a Honda, a Toyota, a Hyundai, a Kia? I mean, what's your favorite brand? What are your opinions? What do you drive?
What I drive is a Ford Transit. Honestly, it's a pretty good car, but they have some quirky issues like the door straps and the mirrors and all that. But honestly, it's a pretty decent car. Van. Something.
How do you drive it? And if you can't expect to buy a brand new car and own it for 5 years, 10 years without any major problems, what's the alternative? I live in a state where driving is imperative. There's not a lot of public transportation, so you've got to have a car to get to school, to get to work, to get around, to live your life. And so when dealers keep charging more and more and more for the new cars, and they're putting new technology, and you're looking under the hood, and it's full to level. There's really no room to go and do anything in there. My first car was a 1975 Malibu, and I could drive that into my shop class at high school, work on it, fix it, do what I needed to do. So what is it? What is it that, and when did American cars make the turn into unreliable? When did the mood shift? And when did we stop making cars as American car companies to provide for the well-being and the reliability that we were known for? I'd really like to know.
It's when they realized people are going to pay whatever just to get whatever car they want.
Comment below. Let me know, is there any way back? Can American car companies
There's no
earn
way
more
back
trust?
from it.
What would it take?
Gone too far.
Would you buy them
with
at
that.
any price? Or is it just, no, I'm not putting any amount of money into an American car? For content like this and more, follow Better Call Sean now.
Somebody in the comments said corporate greed. Yeah, I do agree with that because I made a bunch of videos about that. But honestly, if I could live somewhere without having to drive, I would totally do that. If I could go on another planet where cars and trucks, and especially trucks, are non-existent, I would move to that ASAP. I have made a video about bad drivers. It's insane. I work as a truck driver and I see just terrible behavior from people driving, you know, daily, if not even on an hourly basis. It's almost like people get into cars and they lose every single bit of brain power that they have. I genuinely hate driving now. And cars are the #1 reason that people go broke, in my opinion.
New vehicles suck, and there's no ad go buy one. It's to the point where used Tacomas are selling for more than brand new ones. That's how bad it's gotten. And I have an insider's perspective because I'm a mechanical engineer who has just worked in the automotive industry, and I've seen it just go downhill. Most of it has to do with the lack of practical engineering and now a huge focus on analytical as well as software, just ruining everything. So one software company controls basically everything. It's really expensive to get a seat to design things, and their software sucks. Simulation is pretty horrible, and that's how everything's designed. We don't test vehicles as long as we used to in the real world. That's now the customer's job. A lot of principles backed by analytics like thermal press fits make their way into real world designs like timing gears being pressed onto crankshafts. It's crazy.
Oh, that's so garbage. Like, why do they do this crap? I know why. It's so that you can't fix it at home. You have to take it to a dealership and get charged up the for it.
New engines starting to knock after a few thousand miles. Multi-speed transmissions failing rather quickly. There's like no practical knowledge left anymore. Electrically, modern cars are scary. There's a computer for everything, like your power seats. There's dozens and dozens of them in a vehicle. They're all connected via
No reason
CAN bus,
for all
which
that.
is super touchy to physical damage, noise, external interference. I think in terms of durability, vehicles peaked in the late 90s.
Yeah, they did. They absolutely did.
You can't even buy a used car no more. I'm on Facebook Market just looking around for a used car, especially for the brands that you know that's going to last pretty good. And everybody knows that Hondas and Toyotas last pretty damn well.
Yeah, they are now
There is
overpriced.
no reason why I'm seeing Hondas and Toyotas that are 20 years old, 200,000 miles, and you want to price them at $5,000-$6,000.
Yeah.
And they got a savage built title. Like, the car game ain't even right no more. The housing market already up, but the automobile market is even more up. Are you serious? 200,000 miles and you want to sell me your car for $5,000-$6,000? And it's 20 years old? Come on, man. What are we doing out here, dog?
Yeah, the Facebook Marketplace is a literal zoo right now for buying and selling cars. It's crazy. From the people not showing up to the lowballers, it's insane.
It's bad enough that when you try to buy a brand new car 2025, your car payment gonna be $1,000, the price of goddamn rent for a 1-bedroom or studio apartment.
I've made a video about that,
Insurance
by
gonna
the
be
way.
way high. But for a used car, you out here charging $5,000 or more for a 20-year-old car? Come on, man. This ain't right. Trump gotta do something. I understand he's the president right now. We can't talk about nobody else. He the president. We got to do something about that. The economy is already effed up. More terrorists are happening. Prices are going up. They saying groceries are about to go up. Everything is up high, but they still acting like we out here living rich. It's not fair.
Yeah, did I mention insurance prices too?
We out here struggling. We can manage our money all we want. We can go back to eating bologna sandwich and oodles and noodles to try to budget ourselves. We still gonna be broke. It's not fair.
Yeah, no amount of budgeting is just gonna fix the modern world. It's a new reality that you have to accept. Everything sucks now, and that's your reality. It's not gonna get any better unless you make it better.
How does anyone who's not bringing in an insane amount of money buy a car? This is the ECM, or Engine
auctions.
Control Module, from my Lexus LS400. It's a 1995. It's basically a car I bought with deployment money while I was in the military, and I've just been making this thing work, which is why I pulled this out of the dash today. And for various reasons, I was shopping around for cars because I was like, you know what, maybe it's time to get something that's a little bit more dependable, a little bit more consistent. And I realized that the used car market is just like when I bought my first car when I was 17, I was working at a truck stop and I bought an 88 Jeep Cherokee for $1,200, and it was a piece of shit, but it kind of ran most of the time. Those cars don't seem to exist anymore in today's market.
No, they don't. My first car was, I think, like $800, and honestly, I really liked it, but that era of $500 and $800 cars does not exist anymore.
Those cheapo cars aren't out there, so what are kids doing now?
They are financing the hell out of their cars that just break down and become an even bigger problem. But I guess that's the norm nowadays.
Cheap cars don't exist anymore. They have outpriced themselves in the market. Their values are too high. They are bringing all the money at the auction. At this point, it's better to buy something newer with less miles for a little bit more money than something super old. Let me show you. I really wanted this. It's a nice Suburban MMR around $4,000. I was like, you know what? For $5,000, I'll buy this. One owner, clean Carfax. Carfax retails is $8,000. I go buy this. This is how I try to sell my cars. I always want to be under Carfax retail. I spend a lot of money advertising on Carfax, so I try to utilize their platform. Look at this. It sold for $7,600. This car right here sold at auction. It's an 03.
Dude, like back then, this would have been like a $2,000-$3,000 car, like easily.
For $7,600, right? Add $1,000 with fees, shipping to get it to the lot. You're at $8,600. What did I say? 800, whatever. You'd have to sell this for $10,000. Is this a $10,000 vehicle?
No, absolutely not.
For that,
Not
you
even
buy
half
some
that.
newer something with Apple CarPlay at least. This is why when people ask me, hey, do you have anything sub 5,000? Bro, I don't, man. Look what the auction is bringing.
I can smell the coolant through the screen from that car. So it's safe to say that the age of cheap cars is gone. Same with housing too. And your insurance is only gonna keep going up from now on, so might as well prepare for it. Drivers are getting dumber, cars are getting more expensive, and insurance is going up. Anyways, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and I'm out of here. I gotta go to work, unfortunately. Peace.